Benjamin Garcia here with the Locked On Podcast Network, also covering all things Cardinals. I'm also a Phoenix Suns guy, which was the best place to be during NBA trade deadline. I actually covered
was
the
also
Suns.
also Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In Phoenix when Durant got traded to the Suns, and I was thinking Super Bowl now, we're going to be in New Orleans when Durant got traded away from the Suns. That obviously didn't happen. It looked like it was going to happen, but obviously didn't.
You know what? This is a great talking point right here. I haven't gotten a lot of Suns because I'm a Suns guy. I cover the Phoenix Suns out in Phoenix. Decided to come out to New Orleans during Super Bowl week, during trade deadline, like you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
What do you think is the main reason why the Phoenix Suns haven't worked?
Oh, honestly, I think it's a really shoddily put together roster. I just don't they just have the same version, a lesser version of the same player. Like Booker and Durant are facsimiles. Bradley Beal was just a poor man's version of that. Now he's not even that. Listen, Bill Simmons kind of coined this phrase, but the new owner syndrome, nobody's ever had it worse than Ishbia. And it just seemed like it was a lot of rushed into things. And I know there was real optimism right when they got KD. I didn't believe then, and now they kind of feel stuck. Like I would assume this summer they try to reboot it and trade KD, but they've traded all their picks away. So like that sucks because it's a great fan base. It's actually an underrated basketball town, and they just have I feel like they're in for unfortunately some hard times coming up.
You know, I'm all about you are who you hang out with. Devin Booker had kind of a Kobe-esque mentality. Now, no one is Kobe.
Sure.
But this idea, this killer mentality. Kevin Durant comes along, a little bit of aloof, lackadaisical, one of the greatest players of all time. I still call him a top 10 guy. Devin Booker seems to have lost that a little bit, that edge. Do you think maybe, not to say Kevin Durant's a bad player, but maybe
I don't know if I agree with that. What I do think is that, and Durant's been honest about this and open about this, he doesn't think being like a leader is his job. And so it's going to be hard for Booker to take that because Durant's, the veteran and Durant's the accomplished guy. And they don't have, they had it with Chris Paul, obviously. They had a defined, definitive leader. I don't know if they have that now, and I think that's probably an underrated, important thing if you're going to build an actual champion.
Switch it over to the Arizona Cardinals really quick. I got like 2 more minutes with this guy. He's very busy, but also very gracious of his time. Before I get to my next one, I just want to say, this guy puts on a persona of he's loud, big opinions. This is one of the nicest guys I have ever met. I've met him a couple of times. Now he doesn't remember either time because a lot of people want to talk to him.
Last night we talked.
Last night we talked. We hung out, had a couple of drinks, not really. Moving over to the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. Kyler's a guy that I have had a lot of belief in, and I've been a full supporter. But I can't be a fanboy forever. Post-Week 10, Week 11, 6-4, Kyler kind of dipped off a cliff for the longest time. I blamed it on Cliff Kingsbury. Second half of seasons didn't look good. What do you think it is with Kyler for him kind of falling off the cliff?
It just doesn't seem like he's a 16-game player. It just doesn't seem like we now have a large. I agree with you that at first you blamed, not you, but people blamed Cliff.
I did too.
And it doesn't. I don't know if it's because of his size. I don't know if it's because of his approach. But he doesn't seem to be able to get to the finish line of seasons the way you have to have your franchise quarterback get to. Like I would consider. I would call Pittsburgh and see if Pittsburgh wants to overpay for Kyler and give a chance to kind of reboot it because kind of stuck in the middle. He's not bad, but he's not great. And even when he has these really good beginnings of seasons, you worry about him late in the year.
Final question.
Sure.
Cliff Kingsbury goes over to the Washington Commanders. Myself, man, I sung the praises when Cliff Kingsbury left the Cardinals because I was there at training camp. They had phone breaks and snack breaks. What makes someone, in your opinion, such a good coordinator like Steve Spagnuolo, but maybe not a head coach?
Well, because maybe you're more scheme than more culture. And he did a great job there. And he's his offensive system, I think, can work. But him setting a culture for the whole program or, being a head coach is more than being a play caller.
Yeah.
And so I think Cliff will probably get another head coaching job. I don't know if that'll work out. I think Spags might be a good example in that the guy can be a great coordinator, but probably his place is not being a head coach. But I think Cliff's going to get another shot at it.
Nick Wright, first things first. What's right with Nick right now on the volume?
Yes.
Appreciate you making
Awesome.
me a part of your day.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. You have a good one. Benjamin Garcia, host of the Locked On Podcast Network, also host of the Ben Garcia Show. Appreciate you guys so much. We'll talk to you guys in just a second.